watching Force 13's live streaming service. Hello, this is Force 13 Live, testing phase for Sunday, May the 7th, 2017. In the wind, my name's Nathan Foy and I'm joined by Leighton in this half hour or 20 minutes up till 3 p.m. local time. The current time 1:38 UTC. Very difficult, confusing with the different clocks, but there we are. And Cyclone Donna is today's feature, category 3, 115 miles an hour, 957 millibars on the latest imagery there, moving west of Vanuatu. This is a test, we're not taking it seriously, only enough so that we can successfully conduct the test in preparation for future events. Leighton, how are you?
I'm fine, can you hear me?
Good lord. Not only can we hear you, it's extremely loud.
I got a habit of putting my mic in my mouth.
Yeah, don't put the mic in your mouth. It's not for eating, Leighton.
Bad habits.
Bad habits. Yeah, well, hey, people who are watching right now, this is only a test, as I keep saying, but if you want to send us any questions, we'll answer them. Myself and Leighton. What do you think of Donna?
Oh, it's certainly getting its act together, I can say that much.
Hmm.
There's been about a 17-degree cooling in the cloud tops in the last 3 hours, from what I've seen.
Not bad, and the eye is looking pretty good, particularly in those last few frames.
Certainly a lot better than it was yesterday.
I don't suppose you've got screen sharing capabilities right now?
Should do.
Whilst we continue to fiddle about with... There's Leighton now on the bottom left hand side of the screen, but that won't really work because the tracking map is on one of those slides. We'll move him up here instead.
The band's wrapping around the eye.
Currently 69 degrees at Force 13 HQ on Fahrenheit. That would make it 20 Celsius. The warmest day of the year so far at Force 13 HQ, Greater Manchester, United Kingdom. And funny that the air pressure reading I've got on here, for some reason I came back from vacation a few weeks ago to find that it had magically changed from HPA millibars to millimeters of mercury. So it's 768.3 millimeters of mercury, which is something over 1,000 millibars, but I can't remember exactly what. The only reason I know is because I was doing some research on that, the historic West Pacific typhoons, and back then they used millimeters of mercury, and you know, when you got to numbers like the 720s, 710s, that was a pretty strong storm. Now, I've got no idea what's going to appear when I press this button, so this could be very worrying.
Amusing.
I'm going to press this button. Okay, not too bad. It could have been worse. Stuff all over the place, though.
What's going on?
This page will need sorting.
Uh,
Take your time over there. I'm fiddling with things here as well.
Same here. Um,
Oh, it's just weird. What?
I can't find out to share my screen anymore. That sucks.
For lack of a better phrase, I guess it does. So.
Oh, for God's sake, where is it?
Hey, is Leighton about to go into a little rant here?
Shut up, Nathan, please.
Careful what you say now, you're live.
Oh no. Da, 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 da. Uh. Oh, shoot.
And you can hear the bird song in the background as well if that calms anyone down, if they need calming down.
Oh, God, completely confused.
Why? How are you so confused?
I can't share my screen.
We
Hang on,
gathered
I can't
that.
do that from the live room corner.
We gathered that much.
I can't do that from the live room corner. In which case, I'm not in the live room.
What?
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's goddamn annoying.
Don't forget, and I'll be saying this regularly, this is a testing day on Force 13. None of the content that you're seeing today will be particularly reflective of what you'll see in the future. We're just making sure everything is working ahead of, well, the hurricane season.
Oh, God's sake.
How can it take you so long to load this screen share, Leighton?
I can't find it.
Right. There's a little plus
Nice to do
button
it.
on your little window there, and if you press the button,
Oh, it's changed.
it's changed. It's been like that for quite a long time, you know.
Yeah. I'm on now.
My goodness, that took a ridiculous amount of time.
I got confused completely. Oh, the transfer rope's gone up again. Cloud top's continuing to call. That's definitely intensifying.
So how strong do you think it is right now?
Dunno. Maybe 120?
Could you possibly bring up the RAM imagery?
Yep, I'll do
Because
that.
I think that is often the most indicative,
True.
most helpful.
Indeed. Don't know.
Okay, that was not the best idea. That image on the bottom right is actually Debbie. That's an old one. Just ignore that one.
That's useful.
Oh, if people want to see what it was like to see old Debbie.
Oh god, Debbie was so. watching it meander off the coast for several hours, that was just, oh god. I don't want to go into it. There we are.
Ooh.
Is that what it was after?
Yes, just keep that there for a minute or two whilst I work with something else, and then we'll go and talk about it. Okay, so you can see it there, not looking bad at all. Now, people have been expecting rapid intensification at various points in time. I'm not sure if it's rapid, but it's intensifying, and if it keeps up that appearance for 2 or 3 more hours, you could say 125 miles per hour, and if the red zone there, -70 cloud tops, wraps all the way around the eye, and the eye still looks as good as that, then you're talking at least 140 in a general sense.
It looks like it's trying to go annular as well, actually. It's been trying to do that all its life from what I've been watching.
I did wonder that since it was stalling yesterday, how it was beginning to start to look almost like that, but it's nowhere near annular yet. But storms like to do that in this part of the world.
Oh, Winston, classic example.
One of the closest examples to hand as well, it just happens to be.
God, Winston was an annoying storm.
Now in the background you can hear a plane. Is it a plane? No, it wasn't a plane, it was actually some motorised vehicle on the ground. It sounded like a plane at first, and I thought he was about to crash. It didn't sound very good. In the background you can hear the audio from outside Force 13 HQ belonging to that webcam, showing what a glorious day it is outside. 69 degrees Fahrenheit. I should be out there.
Blame Donna.
But we did decide to do this testing thing today anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
But we have had a fantastic week over here in the UK, and I'm not sure it's going to continue for that much longer.
Knowing our weather, probably.
Sorry?
Said knowing our weather, probably.
Right.
Atrocious.
Yeah, usually not very good. We've had a remarkably good week. But tell you what, the week we've just had has been very good, but the week before that was terrible. Now, if anyone wants to swap places with us here, let us know where you live, and I'll see if I can say yes or no to that, because I'd like to go somewhere much warmer, if that's okay. So if anyone is living somewhere and they want to live here instead, just let me know, and we'll see if we can make some arrangements.
It feels looking to have some deep convection in it.
So, Leighton,
Yeah?
I mean, where would you rather live than here? Anywhere? We've got
idea.
We've got Florida and Wisconsin right now. Any of those?
Definitely Florida. Definitely Florida.
Florida's nice. Wisconsin I've never really seen. The closest I've been to there would be a brief stopover in Chicago on a pretty cold day in April. The scenery wasn't too bad. Anyway, we'll bring you back with the image of Donna.
Do I see minus 75 starting to creep out in that, Nathan?
In what?
On that imagery I've got up. On the northern side.
It's a lot colder than minus 75. Hey, here's a question for you. Kilometers per hour and miles per hour is different, right, guys? Yes, it is.
Yes. And a pain in the backside to convert between.
Oh dear. So,
Can't be any worse than knots, though.
well, I can tell you, Cyclone Don is 115 miles an hour, which is about 100 knots.
185. Yeah, 100 knots, 185 kilometers an hour.
Hmm.
Ooh, microwave imager. There. Why the loop goes back 2 days, I've got no idea.
Because it's not got that much imagery.
Because I think it was a complete mess 2 days ago.
What's the noise? That's me as well, I can hear.
PlayStation in the background on my end. Don't know about yours.
Wonderful. Over here, there's nothing going on in terms of noise. I'm just configuring the breaking news ticker there for whenever we need it, which will probably be pretty often when we're actually doing live events. People want to know if we're if we're doing a Hurricane Week or a Cyclone Education Week this year, and if we're doing a music collection this year. I can confirm right now that there will be a music collection later this year, probably around August, and we will be making an announcement about Hurricane Week later this month.
Oh my god, I found the Debbie imagery, for God's sake. There's definitely a lot more purple on that imagery for the precipitable. Pretty moist environment.
Who's that?
Me. Sorry, I started whistling.
No, there's someone else.
That
I know the
tropical
whistling.
wave
I
over
heard
the
the
Atlantic's
whistling. Huh?
That tropical wave over the Atlantic's beginning to look good.
Oh no. But yes, you can see it, guys. That is a fax at the bottom there. Donna is the third ever cyclone to reach Category 3 in the Southern Hemisphere in May.
Question is, will it get to Category 4?
The strongest cyclone ever in the Southern Hemisphere in May reached 125 miles per hour. That was Cyclone Rhonda in the Australian region in 1997.
Oh god, that inner core looks a bit shabby at the moment. What do you think, Nathan?
Just wait.
Nope, no radar. Damn. God, that's got a wicked outflow channel. Mm.
3 o'clock here in the UK. It's coming up to 2 p.m. UTC. Leighton and I are going to be leaving you now for a while. We'll be back again in an hour. Well, if Leighton's still here. At 3 p.m. UTC, we will be running a legit update on Donna. And maybe we'll be joined by some other people as well. That update will be archived on the channel later on as well if you miss it live. But we will be running for around an hour, 3 p.m. UTC till 4. Stay tuned. continues in a moment. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com, at your service at any time with the latest Storm updates. You can also find us on YouTube if you're not watching us there already, and subscribe if you've not done so. You can also find us on Facebook, search Force 13 all in text, and it's at Force 13 on Twitter if you'd like to get in touch on those mediums. You can also add Fool 13 on Skype and add extension 9094 on Discord for tropical weather chat. You're watching Force 13's live streaming service. Good afternoon, this is Force 13 Live. Hello, it's 3 p.m. UTC this Sunday, May the 7th. My name's Nathan Foy, and if you've been watching us throughout the afternoon, you'll have noticed that we've had some sort of a testing day going on with these new graphics and whatnot to make sure that everything is running smoothly. This is a legitimate live update, so we will be talking properly about Donna and what is going on. I'm joined by three of our members on Skype this afternoon. I'm joined by Leighton, Marcel, and Ryan. Hello guys, how are you?
Hello.
There they are, all three of them. Before we go on to Donna, I just want to welcome Ryan to the team. Thanks for joining us. It's his first show, so that's very pleasing to see. And Leighton, of course, it's only your second appearance on our live events as well.
I believe so, yeah.
Or at least the second storm in which you've appeared for.
Yeah.
Certainly is. So that's really nice to see. Donna is a Category 3 storm on the Saffir-Simpson scale, according to our estimates. It's got winds of 115 miles per hour and a pressure of 957 millibars. That makes it only the third Category 3 storm ever to form in May in the Southern Hemisphere. And it could be strengthening even beyond that, and we're obviously going to be finding that out throughout the course of the rest of the day. But you can see how it's been looking on that satellite imagery. There's Invest 91p as well. Leighton's going too quickly for us. But 91p also there, located east of Fiji. We'll get talking about that a little bit later, Leighton. But let's go to Donna and keep up that imagery for a little while. If you've got any comments or questions for us whilst we're on the air, send us a message on the YouTube comments section if you're watching us live, and we can respond to you in real time. Hey, that's good, isn't it? If you're not watching us live, then I'm afraid that is not available. But you know where you can find us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, search Force13 all in text, and you can add Fool13 on Skype, FOOL13, with extension 9094 on Discord. You'd also be able to see my face at this point, but for some reason the webcam is not working at this time, even though we've done all of our tests. It's the one thing that we've not managed to get up and running yet, but it's no big deal. Leighton, whilst you've got the floor, tell us what your latest remarks are on Donna.
It's certainly looking a lot better than it was yesterday and even this morning. It's rapidly organised since this morning.
Yeah, I
The
certainly wasn't.
Varric estimates are typically around 6 at the moment, 6.5. But I wouldn't really trust that compared with how it exactly looks on infrared.
I certainly
So
wasn't paying it much attention until, say, the end of last night, coming into today, when the eye really started to come out. I thought the authorities were being a little bit optimistic, to say the least, with the storm, the 2 days leading up to this morning. But now, quite clearly, it's strengthening, and Category 3, I think, is assured. And you look at those late frames. The eye gets its shape together a little bit better. You could be looking at Cat 4 there, Saffir-Simpson, and that's Cat 5 on the Australian scale, of course.
The Varric's already showing Cat 4. Yeah, Cat 4.
Well, that's one method indeed. I don't suppose you've got access to the forecast map there, but if you...
I'll try.
Well, whilst you're trying to get that up and loaded, I just wanted to mention that because we have the information, I think, on the screen is slightly out of date when it comes by on the left-hand side. That'll be updated shortly. But there is now a cyclone warning extending to cover northern New Caledonia now, and for the rest of New Caledonia, including the capital Noumea, it's a tropical cyclone alert. That means gales or stronger within the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll see it on Leighton's screen at some point.
Yeah, eventually. Wrong one.
There's the view from Force 13 HQ. Pretty warm here today, 69 degrees Fahrenheit. The current temperature reached a high of 71 earlier.
Wrong one
I was
again.
certainly enjoying that. The weather's really nice here. If you'd like to talk to us about your weather, you can do so as well. But we're, of course, looking at Donna for this hour and keeping you up to date. So we expect it's going to... Yeah, he's Leighton's still loading up the wrong images.
I'm not familiar with
It's
them.
the TC threat map, that one that you're just on, yes, for Donna. And you'll see here with the graphic,
that right one there.
that's the latest graphic. Vanuatu in the clear almost. Give it another 12 hours and hopefully Vanuatu will be in the clear. But New Caledonia is where our worry now lies with, because you look at that projection. I don't know why they've not put out a track forecast, like with the centre line. That's a bit weird. But you can quite clearly see that it's going to be heading towards New Caledonia, and it could cause some severe issues there if it stays strong.
You could get down there as a Category 1 if it remains. Well, if it intensifies anymore, it could do anyway. Just depends what the conditions are exactly like down there.
Marcel,
How
are you
quickly
here?
it falls apart.
I thought we had Marcel at one point.
We did. He must have left.
Okay, Ryan, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, there he is. What do you think of Donna?
Well, at one point it was a Category 4 in its life.
On the Australian scale, yes.
And then it weakened and then re-strengthened into a Cat 3, I believe.
That's what they have down right now.
It hasn't dropped below Category 3 on the Australian scale.
And for those people who still get a little bit confused with the Australian scale and the Saffir-Simpson scale, let's work from the top. Category 5 on the Australian scale is 125 mile an hour or higher. That's high-end Category 3. Category 4 starts at, what was it, 110, is it?
105.
105, which is high-end Category 2 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. So, according to that, Fiji really don't think that Donna is particularly strong then, do they? They only have it as a mid-range Category 2 by that assumption on the
That
Saffir-Simpson
is
scale. Very confusing.
1344 UTC. So it might be a little bit outdated.
Not really, only by an hour.
Yeah.
About an hour old.
really.
Well, we'll talk about that again later. Let's take a look at Invest 91p whilst you've still got it there. Is it your first tab, your second tab that you've got
That
loaded
one.
up there?
Yeah.
There it is. Looked good for a while. Now looks like it's regressed a little bit.
Yeah. Looks like a mess now.
And now you can see on
That
the
looks
left
like it's
hand.
split in two.
You can see on the left-hand panel there the updated information for the warnings from Donna. It has split in two, hasn't it? 91p. Oh,
Yep.
Do we know what the models are saying on that?
Don't know. I haven't looked today.
No, me neither. So prepared, aren't we?
I'll put up now if the internet cooperates.
Yeah. But the models were very bullish about Donna the whole time. Well, particularly the HWRF predicting it many times. High-end
To reach
category
for
4.
category 4.
The latest models, I'm looking at it with Leighton here, trying to get there as well as him. The latest from the HWRF for Donna says now that it will only get to category 2. Well, that's interesting. It's already category 3. But affect New Caledonia as a category 2 Saffir-Simpson scale, and then move towards the southeast and could maintain gale force winds as it affects the North Island and New Zealand. Very reminiscent of the last days of Pam, to be honest, by the time it gets down there.
Yeah, it could end up pretty similar.
And we did wonder at first whether it would be like Pam from the beginning, because the early model runs were saying that it would affect the whole of the Vanuatu island chain as a strong category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, and that would have been a disaster. It has dodged most of the islands of Vanuatu, but this time New Caledonia could be seeing significant problems. But the models, Leighton, I don't think are very keen on Donna strengthening much more.
I don't know. I'm looking at 91p.
Alright, we'll look at 91p then. We'll look at that. Take a look at that. As it was moving, that's the GFS ensembles. The GFS ensembles you were looking at just then. So that's all from the GFS. You can see they say that it's going to east, then west, into Fiji. Everything winds up into the magnet that's Fiji, isn't it?
It's all over the place.
Weak, though. Weak across the whole of its duration there.
Yeah, I don't expect that will become a tropical cyclone.
Well, if it does, it'll be weak. But
I
I just want you to look at that global models one there. There's another model that... No, back next to your other graphic. There's another model there that moves it north of Fiji. What model's that?
Navgem.
The Navgem. Now, that's a very intriguing.
Navgem's been very unreliable.
I wouldn't really trust that particular. Well, Navgem did pretty well on some recent storms, not too long ago. Which one was it? I think it was when I did the report. I think it might have been Cyclone Cook that it did pretty well with.
Did well with Ernie as well, I think.
Ernie, I don't think the Navgem is to be believed on that one.
There's only one model that picked up Ernie's rapid intensification. I know that much. Can't remember what one it was there.
But if you've got any feedback for us on the live stream right now, on the new format to the streams, which we're going to be working on and fleshing out throughout the course of the next few weeks, do let us know. And if you've got any more suggestions for us, we'd love to hear it, because you know it's pretty rare these days when you get people who actually care about the viewer. I'd like to think that we do, and we certainly take everyone's opinions into account.
And the internet's frozen.
His internet's frozen. Well, whilst that's going on, we'll just give you another brief update with the facts on Donna right now. Yeah, I know you've got the screen back there. So, category 3 on the Australian scale. We're calling it category 3 on our on the Saffir-Simpson scale through our analysis. But officially not officially, but from the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre, don't forget they're not officials. The RSMC in Fiji is the official forecaster. And I gotta say, listen to this. Fiji right now, Leighton, is saying that Donna only has winds of 85 miles per hour.
That looks more typical of
That-
105, 110
What was
on the
that?
Fiji scale.
What was that, Ryan?
Category 1 stat is 85 mile an hour winds.
That's right. Which I just find baffling.
That looks more like 105, 110, 10 minutes the same wind sort of thing. That structure does. That's just unbelievable.
Well, I do wonder whether they're using 10-minute sustained winds. It doesn't specify.
Fiji uses 10 minutes.
But
The 10 minutes
you'd
sustained.
still think they'd specify. Well, that makes a little bit more sense if they actually do mean that it's 100 miles per hour, 1 minute sustained. Though they only give it 15 nautical miles from the centre of winds, hurricane force winds.
I've got the same here on the modelling output I
It isn't really
use,
very
and
much
it's the same on
when
that.
you've got the factor in the eye as well. 15 nautical miles at the centre. The eye size, how big do you think that eye is? It's a few miles wide.
50 miles, the JTWC
15.
said about 12. 50.
50.
That's what they said at 12. Yeah,
I don't think it's
that ain't
50.
50 miles. That ain't 50.
No, that's pretty big. I would say it's something like 20. So I think it's laughable that they say that there's hurricane force winds extending 15 nautical miles from the centre when the eye itself is, well, 15, not 15 miles in all directions, I guess, but still doesn't leave much for the eye wall there. Anyway, we're being a bit pedantic, but there we go. Yes, let's get on to
Model,
those.
I guess.
Yes, the ensemble there again for Donna. There it is.
Yeah, it shows it hitting New Zealand. Pretty similar to where Pam hit,
Yeah, so
if
if
I
you're
remember right.
watching from New Zealand, particularly the North Island, I'll take a look at that. There could be some interesting weather on the way. They've already been hit once this year by Cook.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Didn't they catch the remnants of Debbie as well?
Sorry?
Didn't they catch the remnants of Debbie as well?
Maybe a little bit. I don't recall.
Oh, for God's sake, it's unreal.
Alright, let's see. Let's see if we've got
Well, I'm
any
not even
questions.
going to bother looking at global models if anyone's interested. Navgen potentially takes it straight.
Here is a
New
question.
Zealand.
What is considered to be cyclone season in the southern hemisphere?
November 1st, April 30th is the official bounds.
November the 1st to April the 30th.
Yep.
And now we're on the 7th of May. And this
And you've
is
still got cyclones.
and this is the third strongest storm to ever occur in the southern hemisphere in May. If
Comical.
it gets to 125 miles an hour, it will be tied for the strongest storm ever in the southern hemisphere, and those records go back a very long way, I have you know, over
Yeah.
100 years.
Best track goes back to about 1900, I think, for the South Pacific.
So if it does get to category 4, it will be setting new
I don't know.
boundaries. Though, I do think it is possible for that sort of thing to happen, because let's not forget, we're only, climatologically speaking, about 2 weeks after Cyclone Monica. And Cyclone Monica was one of the strongest storms ever in the southern hemisphere, even if they don't say it officially. And that occurred in late April, just very near the edge of the season's bounds. So
And-
it does make you wonder. Oh, there's Marcel.
and one of, and I think one of the I think the JTWC said that one of the fonts of the JTWC say that Monica was 868 millibars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Varrot pulled that trick out. Don't know how.
About
Well, he
Monica
did.
being 868 millibars.
Yeah.
I'm not having that. Personally.
I'm not trusting that, no chance.
I think Force 13's analysis went with something like 897.
I'd say sub 900 if that.
Now what are we looking at here?
I'm trying to pull up modelling. The internet's really slow.
Yeah. question: what do you think about the Eastern Pacific storm? That model keeps saying it will form in the next week, with 3 E's in the word week. Week. What do you think?
The modelling keeps pushing the Genesis time back and making it all over the place, really, the intensity forecast.
Well, if it pushes
It's
it back
actually very
much
hard to
further, it will
follow.
be. If it pushes it back much further, it will be within the official bounds of the season.
Yep. Saying that, GFS earlier did have a major hurricane off the coast of Guatemala.
Oh dear.
958 millibars.
There's the latest view from Force 13 HQ. Wonderful day out there. Whilst we wait for Leighton's screen to show up something interesting.
I think I found it now. Oh, come on.
But at the moment, Donna is not
Oh, bloody.
really affecting any land areas apart from the westernmost area of Vanuatu. I don't know what effects they'll be feeling right now. I don't think it'll be too substantial. But I think the concern, unless it takes an eastward jog, will now fall with New Caledonia.
Probably will. Right, I'm just waiting for it to load.
But first we're looking at this. There's another low pressure system near Tasmania.
Oh god. Yeah.
Winds around the Iowa can still produce catastrophic damage, can't it?
What's that?
The the winds around the Iowa, it can still produce catastrophic.
Oh, absolutely. Though it's some distance away from land. Let me just do some number crunching here, which is what I seem to do best, and figure out how far.
Okay.
Whilst Leighton talks to you about what's on his screen for a few minutes, eh?
Awesome. Right.
It's the responsibility, Leighton, to keep talking.
Please. That's not difficult. The latest GFS modelling output. I believe this is the 12Z model, but it should be by now at least. Is oh my god. Load. What froze?
I'm just over here doing some number crunching whilst I figure out its latest position. So, I've got some statistics now. Donna is 263 miles northwest of Port Vila, which is the capital of Vanuatu. It is also at its closest town on land, 133 miles, to a place called Tasariki on the biggest island, on the largest island of Vanuatu. So 133 miles from land, essentially. And given the wind field, Fiji say it's
I've got the model.
120 nautical miles in the northeast quadrant. So I would say that tropical storm force winds are not quite being felt on Vanuatu, but it's really close.
Yeah, it's about 10 miles offshore, if that.
If you believe their figures, of course.
Yeah, it's
but I would
probably a bit
expect
outdated by now.
I would expect gale force gusts, however.
Right, I've got the modelling. Actually, let me see if I can play it. There we are. Yeah, it does show it passing over whatever island that is. For some
Elvin
reason, it's
Lee
showing
would
a non.
like to know, what stage on the CDPS scale would you think it is now? Well, I can tell you for certain in just a moment whilst I calculate that for you.
Probably a stage 4.
Probably a 4 or a 5, yeah.
At least that, I should imagine. I can
Yep.
tell you it is a stage 5 on the CDPS scale.
Hello. Oh no, it's decided it wants to reload everything.
And if you send in any donations to Force 13, we'll promise to upgrade Leighton's internet connection for you.
Oh, please, shut up. My internet's quite good. Usually.
Usually, except when you're on a live stream. Right, okay, there's been some more questions. What is Hurricane Matthew's new statistics on wind speed and monetary damages? The
Last I
monetary
heard,
damages, it was some amount of billion, over 10, was it not? Or around 10?
15.09 billion
now?
last time I knew.
Okay. Well, that's sort of comparable to Irene then, really, isn't it?
Irene did about 15 billion, yeah.
Places.
What's that?
Hurricane Matthew made landfall in like 4 to 5 places.
Yeah, it was a very
Yeah.
busy storm. As far as we haven't changed our numbers from our analysis on Matthew. Let me tell you what Force 13's analysis went with: 160 miles an hour and a pressure of 933. I really struggle to fathom where the National Hurricane Center got 165 from in their season
It
analysis.
was
However, yeah. I know, I get it, but
SFM or
if we get Devon onto our live stream, boy, you're gonna have a fun time. Good lord, what was that?
yeah, I've already had several arguments about that with you.
You'll have a fun time talking about Hurricane Matthew with Devon, who
I've already
happened to
argued with
be
him enough over that.
who
thanks.
happened to be the person who invented the CDPS scale as well. Just in case anyone
comical.
did not know that, I'm sure he'd like the credit. Now we're back with the satellite imagery of Donna provided by Leighton. Is that up to date?
Don't know. I've just come off it. 1410.
So that's about an hour old. Is Vanuatu seeing some effects? Well, as I detailed, I don't... Good lord.
Oh,
Well, we apologise for that, but someone's being loud in the background there. We'll have to fade them out. But we've got what I was getting onto with your question about Vanuatu seeing some effects. I think they did see effects earlier, but they're not really seeing anything now at this point. And as the storm continues to move towards the south and south-southeast, the effects on Vanuatu will continue to decrease unless the storm decides to wobble to the east and then southeastwards, which it could yet do, though at the moment we're not seeing that as being particularly likely. And
Heavy rainfall coming in with this system.
the rainfall will probably be a bigger threat indeed. Especially on these islands where I expect landslides are quite prevalent.
They happen quite a lot during Pan, yes. Quite bad ones as well, from what I heard at the time. There's buildings washed away and all sorts.
And that is one we really have to compare this storm to, because they are
Yeah, 'cause
rather
the track's
similar.
so similar. Yeah. Right, Voila, loaded.
Yeah, but at this point we
Oh no, just loaded the Davarak, for God's sake.
well, we can have a look at that if you like.
storms are never predictable.
To some extent they are, but they catch off guard every time. Right, let me try and get the water vapor review, which is what I
It's
was
not
after.
moving very fast.
No, it's not. It's stalled out even the last few hours.
Nathan, also, did you receive the animation I sent to you?
Yes.
Water vapor imagery has loaded.
Yeah, well, that is some imagery. But I'm intrigued as to what we're sort of seeing on Donna in those last few frames that you had on before. And in its movement, it's pretty slow, but it's definitely got that eastward element to it.
That's even forecast so soon either.
But it's got to speed up, otherwise it'll hit Vanuatu. A very vague question has just come in. How well is Donna's eye doing?
Let me check. I'll just put it on the screen.
I'm predicting it will be around to 50 to 70 miles wide.
No, I wouldn't say that. But I can give you a very
Jackie.
vague answer. It's doing pretty well. Not doing too badly.
Let me just wait for the satellite to load and then I'll get it all.
Yep, we're still waiting on that one.
Oh, by the way, Adrian's precursor load formed and everything.
Well, I'm sure it did, but don't name it yet.
Rules.
Now, you can see on the bottom right as well, the latest floaters for Donner. You can see its general movement towards the southeast by the looks of things. Now, questions. Do you expect Donner to intensify and reach Category 5 strength, or to rapidly weaken?
It would most likely weaken rather than strengthen.
The window
I say
for
weaken.
the window for strengthening will probably run out in around 12 hours or 24 hours maybe. And I do see that until recently the models had it rapidly weakening, but the HWRF, which I saw just a few moments ago, was intriguing because it did show that the storm would survive. It would weaken substantially after passing New Caledonia, which killed Cook, by the way, if you remember. But then it would remain as a tropical storm, turn post-tropical, then affect the northern part of New Zealand.
Again, that sounds Cook as well, to be fair as well.
Sort of like a cross between Pam and Cook.
Donner still looks pretty ragged, but it has improved.
Somewhat. The cloud tops are good though, and the more you see them wrap fully around the eye, and the eye's pretty good as well, the more evidence we get there of designating it as a stronger storm. Now, if you see the red -70 cloud tops on the RAM imagery cross all the way around the eye, and the eye temperature remains pretty good as well, there's grounds to call that 140 miles per hour.
Indeed, so. In fact, there should be an update due within the next 15-20 minutes on RAM.
No, not that soon.
Oh,
It's another 3 hours or so yet until they update their numbers.
I'm seeing a lot of yellow, maybe some red. The red's almost gone round now. Kind of far to go. Look, I'm seeing a bit of grey coming out on the eye wall as well, to be fair. And in the band to the northeast. Oh, fucking come on.
Oh joy. Someone seems to have a temper over there in the background. In any case, there's the imagery again, and those latest frames are pretty, but the eye has not really maintained its shrinking, and what you could be seeing next is an eye wall replacement cycle. There's a cyclone then, instead of cycle. I don't recall. Oh, there we go. Good. They're two very similar words.
It's gonna last about 5 to 6 days.
Well, we've not really got much else to say about Donner at this point, so I'm going to get some imagery up of the Pacific, and I'll be back in a few moments to talk about that. But thanks to Leighton and Ryan there, and Marcel for his brief appearance in Force 13's live coverage or live update on Donner. We are having a bit of a testing day here on the streaming service, so things are not entirely 100% up to scratch, but we are here nonetheless. Send us any more questions in. We're going to take a break now, though. I'll be back in a few minutes to just show you some imagery of what's going on over there in the Atlantic and Pacific. But guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure. Alright,
Yeah.
thanks. So that was Leighton and Ryan there, and we're back with the coverage from Force 13 HQ. Still remaining pretty warm here, 69 degrees Fahrenheit here, and it's clouding over a little bit at Force 13 HQ. But there we are with Donna. In just one moment, I will get you up some new imagery of what's going on over in the more familiar part of the world to most people watching. But most particularly, everyone is interested in what the models want to say about a certain area in the East Pacific. Everyone is... some people are very excited about the possibility of a new system, an early system in the East Pacific as well as the Atlantic. Well, I will have the image up to you in just a moment. And once I do, you'll be able to see what we're looking at, and it is pretty interesting, I've got to say, looking at it here for the first time. You will also see it shortly. If you have any questions for us whilst I'm here, we will have another short update on Donna coming up at 9 PM UTC tonight, which is in just less than 6 hours time. And now you will see a latest image of this particular area, and there you can see a particular disturbance there in the very low latitudes of the Eastern Pacific to the southwest of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, and it could head further towards the north as well. If it was to form on the spot, it would not be the easternmost forming cyclone. ALMA of 2008 has that beat, but it would be second, I believe, unless it moves a little bit further west, and could be, if it was to make landfall up there somewhere, one of the furthest east landfalls. The furthest east landfalling hurricane was Barbara in 2013. I'm sure everyone remembers that, and that was much further west than where this system is now. But it's not even been tagged as an invest yet, so time will tell on that one. Now, whilst I'm here, I wanted to show everyone a few things as well. Force 13 came out with some new graphics recently for what to expect in the Atlantic hurricane season, and I'd like to share that with you at this point. This may be of particular interest. So, I'm just resizing the image before it's presented to you. Now there's probably going to be a lot of excitement over this, so let's take a look at what we're expecting in the Atlantic this year. These are the tropical storm chances. If we remove all the unnecessary text there. Chance of tropical storm conditions in 2017 looks like this. You can see that we've got similar places to 2016 really under the threat there. Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, the Bahamas, Mexico. I think there is a high confidence of Mexico impacts this year. And look at the area around where Hermine hit last year as well. That could be another hot spot. And then look again at the Outer Banks there. That's under a 73% chance of tropical storm conditions this year, according to us. And Atlantic Canada could also see some impacts too. Though we're less certain about that one because we predicted the same last year and it didn't verify. But we're even more confident this year of Atlantic Canada impacts than we were in 2016. And then you look at the area around Texas into Mexico, there could get some tropical storm activity too. So that's for tropical storm conditions or higher. Let's look at hurricane conditions. These are the chances of hurricane conditions in 2017, and you can see again the same areas really, as well as the some parts of the Lesser Antilles, the Windward Islands in particular really. Hispaniola, Jamaica, the Yucatan coast, Cuba, the Bahamas, the eastern coast of Florida under elevated chances there of hurricane conditions, and Bermuda as well. Don't forget Bermuda. And then the Outer Banks there could also be that hotspot for a hurricane landfall, with how it is so much of a protrusion out to sea there. And the Gulf of Mexico coastline in Mexico there. Chances may be slightly lower than you'd expect in Louisiana and in Texas for a hurricane landfall, but it is still possible. I think that's 30% there. Or it might be 20, I can't recall. But the area east of there, along Alabama into Florida, that could have, the Florida Panhandle, that could have a higher chance of a hurricane landfall. And then finally, looking at the major hurricane landfall predictions, there are different numbers this time, only the color coding is a little bit different, so don't be alarmed. As you can see there, that the hotspots for a potential major hurricane landfall lie with Cuba and with the Yucatan Peninsula this year, looking at it. So that could be rather interesting. I think this year we could see a year similar to, well, climatologically speaking, we're running very close to 1996 right now. And if everyone remembers what happened in 1996, there were a few pretty strong storms that year. But also I am a bit concerned that we could see 1 or 2 category 5s in the Caribbean again this year, but instead of doing what Matthew did, going the whole hog to the west and doing maybe something like what Dean and Felix did in 2007, I think it could be pretty likely. And you can see there the coast of Mexico leading up to the Texas border as well, another potential hotspot for a major hurricane landfall. Again, maybe something like an Emily could play out this year in terms of a track, or even an Allen, but we'll wait and see on that. So there are always plenty of possibilities. As you can see, north of Florida, chances of a major hurricane landfall are pretty low. It's not particularly likely that we're going to see a Fran, for instance, or a Hugo. I don't think that is quite as likely. But a major hurricane landfall is always a possibility there along the Gulf Coast as well. But I don't think the possibilities for a major hurricane landfall are higher than they usually are, in any rate. And one more thing I want to show you. We've not completed all of the graphics yet, but I just want to show you the whole Northern Hemisphere projection here. The 2017 danger areas. Let me just maximize this a little bit. So the red dots are much higher than normal risk, orange is higher than normal, green is lower than normal, blue is much lower than normal. This is for anticipated storms forming in general. And as you can see, Mexico is not in a great place by the looks of this, particularly on the western coast. There is a lot of predictability here for a high chance of storm conditions occurring along the coast of Mexico, from along the whole of the coast, really extending to the Baja California Peninsula. On the Atlantic side, a little bit less, but still above normal risk. And then you've got that little red dot there, menacingly, over Belize and over Guatemala. We could have some impacts going on there as well. And then you've got the rest of the Atlantic, Bermuda, much higher than normal risk, and the North Carolina coast, much higher than normal risk this year. Might not be a major hurricane or even a hurricane, but for anything, it's a higher than normal risk there, and same too for Atlantic Canada. And then you move east, the Arabian Sea could have higher activity than normal this year, and look at all those red dots over there in the Western Pacific. I'm really concerned. We're pretty much maximum amount of confidence for South China Sea activity this year, and Hong Kong could see some effects from that as well. Really high chances of cyclone activity, and possibly some strong ones, particularly east and southeast of Taiwan, though we don't expect Taiwan will be the epicenter of landfalls. What the trends are telling us at the moment, I think, is that storms will move more towards the north, past Taiwan, and then affecting Japan or China or the Korean Peninsula. And as you can see, the east coast and south coast of Japan, they're under a high alert, and the open West Pacific around the Micronesian islands, a little bit lower than normal risk, and we have a higher than normal potential for a dateline crossover as well on the international dateline. So those are just some other things I wanted to show you whilst we were looking at Donna. There is Donna in those latest frames, but we've pretty much discussed all that there is to discuss about that. There are effects just about occurring in Vanuatu, and there is a cyclone warning now creeping into effect in New Caledonia. This is Force 13's testing day for our live stream coverage, and we're pretty much going to finish up here now, and we're going to be back again at 9 p.m. UTC for another update on Donna. So stay tuned for that. We'll leave this running as we conduct some more tests throughout the afternoon. But thanks for watching, and we'll talk again soon. Stay tuned. The Saffir-Simpson Hurricane wind scale has been in use for decades, but of course it's not the only scale out there. An Australian would tell you they have their own scale, of course, the Australian Cyclone Scale, and we'll be telling you what the difference is between the two. So they both have 5 categories, beginning at category 1 of course on the Australian scale, that's 40 to 55 miles an hour. On the Saffir-Simpson scale, 74 to 95, quite a big difference. On the Australian scale, Caleb just now was a category 1. Category 2 in Australia begins at 56 miles an hour to 73, 96 to 110 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. The last category 2 on the Australian scale was Blanche in early March in Western Australia. Then we reach category 3 on the Australian scale, that's 74 to 98 miles an hour. The Saffir-Simpson scale, 111 to 129. There's one of the category 3s that we've had, Diane, that was, in early 2011. Then we move on to category 4, 98 to 124 miles per hour in Australia, 130 to 156 miles per hour on the Saffir-Simpson scale. There's one of the category 4s, that was Cyclone Quang in 2015. And category 5 is for storms with winds of over 125 miles an hour in Australia and over 157 miles per hour on the Saffir-Simpson scale. The last category 5 in Australia was Marcia. This is Force 13 Live. We have breaking news. The only breaking news is that is a new breaking news trail which we'll be playing if there is any breaking news. We're going to be ending this stream at this point because we have concluded all our testing. Cyclone Donna is a Category 3 with winds of 115 miles per hour and a pressure of 957 millibars. Invest 91P is located east of Fiji with winds of 25 and a pressure of 1007 millibars. We're back with an update at 9 PM UTC on the channel. See you then.